quite a neat little handbook coming up. I came across this little book called Lessons from Private Equity Any Company Can Use, and it's been written by, I'm just checking my notes from time to time, so bear with me. It's written by Orit Gadiesh and Hugh MacArthur, who both work for Bain Co, so they're management consultants. And there also seem to be some other people involved in the book, which has also been written quite recently. So the book's a short book. It's an easy read in a couple of hours. It's only about 50, 60 pages. So maybe a little bit more of a pamphlet than a book. But it caught my imagination, you know, from my point of view as a GP, as a mid-cap GP. What the book does quite well is that it concentrates exclusively not on the deal-making aspect, but on what you do with the company after you've made the investment. So the value creation plan for the company once it enters your portfolio. And there's various things you do in a value creation plan. One is obviously audited accounts, improving the level of governance. The other thing is sitting on the board of directors and playing a role there. But this book concentrates specifically on strategy, which is what you might imagine from Bain that they're good at. And so it's quite an incisive way in which it argues how to implement a kind of change in strategy in the portfolio company, or to make the company very focused. And what I like is that it does that in quite a clear way. It outlines 6 steps, which it describes as defining the potential, develop the blueprint, accelerate performance, harness talent, make equity sweat, and have a results mindset. So let's go through each of these, and I find it's quite a good little handbook to help crystallize your thinking if you're a GP and you've made an investment in a portfolio company. So define the potential means have a realistic plan as to where the company can go. And usually, quite commonly in private equity, mid-cap private equity, the problem is that the founder may have different ideas of doing lots of different things. And what you find yourself as the PE investors, you want the company to focus more on less things, but better. And that's where defining the potential comes in. The second step is developing the blueprint. So having a strategy without an action plan is really not that much use. And so this is quite good at developing how to develop an action plan that is practical and realistic. Thirdly, accelerate performance. This gives you some outlines on how to make sure the company actually delivers. And the key message here is just keep it simple. So develop a few key metrics on which to focus, like, I don't know, EBITDA, number of subscribers, volume of production, whatever it is. Keep the metrics very few and clear, so everybody's clear on what metrics they're trying to hit. So accelerate performance that way. Harness talent. This is about how do you make sure that the management team is the right team to take the company forwards, whether it's the founder, whether it's bringing in an external board member as an operating partner. And so how do you get involved in making sure that the management is optimized? And one of the important lessons there is that if you are going to make changes, make them very quickly at the beginning of the investment. Don't let it linger. Make equity sweat. This is a bit optional. It's more to do with leverage. It's the argument that if you put leverage in a company, the management's attention is more focused on delivering results, which I think is a little bit of a discredited argument, which is used in a bit of a self-serving fashion by the leverage buyout funds. So that's kind of an optional one. And then finally, results mindset. This means that you simply make the people in the company think in terms of results, where they might have been thinking differently, maybe about keeping the company for the next generation or keeping their jobs or whatever it is. So having a mindset more towards results, which links very closely, obviously, with the previous thing about having the few key simple metrics. So what I like about this book, well, it's not new. The ideas are not new, but it's the way they're explained in a crisp and concise way. And they make quite a good use of some case studies, which are written quite nicely, using Nestle as a kind of recurring case study through it, with a few others to go with it. And the case studies very well make the point of these 6 general steps that we have to do. So the book really helps to crystallize your mind if you are a GP and you're trying to sort of get some ideas on how to make sure that your value creation strategy for the company is accurate. So I'd recommend it as a nice little read on 2-hour flight.